Away from the circuit, Interlagos is nestled within Sao Paulo, a famous city in Brazil and known worldwide for its tourism attractions and being Brazil's party capital. The city itself hosts many incredible events throughout the year, including the Carnival and the Verdadeiro Cultural, which is a non-stop 24-hour celebration of culture, of dancing, films and theatre. An incredible party atmosphere. There are also alternative options. People can go away from the hustle and bustle of the city streets and party atmosphere and head off to visit the Sao Paulo Sea Metropolitan Cathedral. It's an immense cathedral, not just in terms of Catholicism, but also in terms of size. It can host up to 8,000 people at any one time. Well, with a top 4 championship reverse grid tonight, our championship contenders will be praying for some divine intervention ahead of round 9 of the Megane Trophy, sponsored by Power Max Racing. I'm your commentator for tonight, Jack TM53, and I'm fairly certain we're going to have a wonderful race tonight. Good evening to Jordan, who's just commented in the chat there. We were just on the call a few minutes ago. As I mentioned, this is a top 4 reverse grid for tonight, and for those who are new to the series, new to watching, top 4 reverse grid involves the top 4 drivers in the championship being unable to take part in qualifying, which means it gives the other drivers on the grid a chance to get their potentially first pole position. I'm going to run through the championship standings and I'll tell you the 4 drivers who will be first starting from the back and the championship positions in general. At the top of the tree, currently on 151 points, is D Whitehouse 7. He's on 151. He's 4 points clear of his main rival, Timmy DJ G94, on 147. Those two in a league of their own this season. They will start on the last row of the grid. In third place, Danzo is on 91 points. Incredibly, Danzo still yet to have a podium in this series, and he's third in the championship. That just shows you his consistency this season. He's had a whole host of 4th places. He's just yet to get that first podium at the moment. 4th is Snav. He's on 87 points. He was out on circuit just before now, and he's only 4 behind Danzo. Those are the 4 drivers that will start from the top 4 reverse grid. They will start from the back. They will be unable to set a competitive lap time, but the rest of the drivers in the championship can. In 5th place, Sir Bertus. He's on 85 points. He's been on a really good run recently, is Bertus. 2 podiums already this season. He's had a top 5 last time out of the Red Bull Ring. He was really competitive in that race, battling with Danzo. So, got a good opportunity tonight for Bertus to qualify potentially near the front of the grid. 6th place is Slow Seamus. He's the one that would be the pre-qualifying favourite, really. Seamus has had pole positions in the series before. He's won races as well. He is a quick driver, Seamus. Still looking for a first win this season is Seamus. He did have a victory at Lago Maggiore in season 17, but at the moment he's only got 1 pole position to his name, so he'll be open for better. 7th place in the championship on 64 points is Tinny Tortoise. And 8th is 1805, another quick driver on his day. He's on 62 points. Crisscross, who won last time out of the Red Bull Rings, not here tonight. He's on 59. Shadow Stalker, the perennial favourite, is in 10th in the championship. He's on 57 points. Coleman is also tied with him on 57, but he's not here tonight. 12th place is DMK80, another driver unfortunately not able to make tonight's events here at Interlagos. 13th is Dark Sykes and his brother, Big Z. They're both in the lobby at the moment. We'll just try and click down to see where they are currently. They're both in the pits. They will be hoping for some better fortune, I suppose. 1805's going past. He's got a different livery on, that much is certain. He's running, what is that? Is that BAWT livery he's got running there? New sponsorships for the 1805. Big Z on 29 points as well, so the brothers of Dark Sykes and Big Z will be looking to try and get in front of one another with 1 round left after this one. The 55-8 is in 15th. He's on 28 points, just 1 point behind those two. 16th after his debut last week. Roving Island, he's on 6, and TMS 313 rounds out the championship standings on 4. And 4 points is indeed what separates the main two at the top of this championship of Timmy and D Whitehouse. Timmy has already looked in great form already, is Timmy, tonight. He pretty quickly set the practice times alight, and he's still doing now. His most recent was a 34.1. So let's see how the drivers get on. We're just gone over 8 o'clock now, so we'll make a start. Just double check to see if everyone is confirmed in the lobby, which they are, and we'll start qualifying. It's going to be a good race. It's a wonderful circuit, Interlagos. Obviously, the circuit itself is known as Autodromo de Interlagos, of course, but the track is also named after Carlos Pache, the former race winner here in a Brabham back in 1975. Sadly died in a plane crash, I believe, not so long after. So, wonderful driver, wonderful circuit, wonderful setting to be in for Brazil. And we've just got on the external camera here with Seamus as he comes out of the pits. And like I said earlier, you know, they've got 10 minutes for the qualifying session, and Seamus is going to be, as he has a big moment going towards the Interlagos. He spun twice actually going through the corner. I think he was trying to warm his tyres and he just spun straight off the circuit. I think he was a bit too, wasn't the best rejoin. Fortunately, it's an out lap for Danzo. But outside of the warming the tyres, Seamus is the one who's you'd look towards at getting a potential pole position here in that Adrian Flux car. He'll be hoping to do so. There's another spinner, and I think that's Snav who's gone off. Indeed it is. So 2 drivers off already in the space of the opening minute and 10 seconds. This is going to be a fascinating qualifying session with the top 4 reverse grid. Seamus just slowed down and then just put his indicators back on, so that's an interesting one from Seamus. Danzo we're with at the moment. Big Z just in front of Darkside at the moment. We'll do a lap with Big Z. We haven't done one with Big Z, I don't think, yet. So he comes out of the penultimate corner, effectively. Turn 14 we're going through now, which is a corner despite it being effectively flat out. It's where Mark Webber had his huge shunt a number of years ago, and Alonso then followed him straight through. So in the Megane we're doing about 150 mile an hour as they approach turn number 1. Big Z on the brakes. Gets himself turned into the centre S. Clips that curb on the inside, then clips it back over. Got to be patient on the throttle, which Big Z was, and he's got it hooked up for turn 3. Not bad so far from Big Z. Runs over that exit curb at 126 miles an hour as he approaches now to Interlagos for turn 4 and 5. Just after the 100 metre marker, braking point. Into 4th gear for Big Z. Could have run the curb a little bit further, but stays safe on this opening lap. Completely flat through turn 5, and then up towards Ferradura for turn number 6, and that's Timmy who's gone off. Obviously, I think just getting out of everyone's way. Difficult corner this one, especially in the Megane. We're going to wash out wide, which Big Z does. Down into 2nd gear for turns 7 and 8. Difficult corner, and then straight into another tricky turn 9. Through Pinarino he goes. Just runs over the curb a little bit. Darkseid's his brother's catching him at the moment. Down into 2nd gear, then 3rd again for turn 11. Another really difficult hairpin, and then flat through Mergullo for turn 12. Big Z's run just a touch wide, but he didn't lift as he approaches Juncao now for the first time of his flying laps. You can see Darkseid's right in the mirror there. He's obviously had a really hooked up lap for this one. Completely flat through turn 14 and turn 15, but the lap times are going to come flying in now. And who has set the pace? So Roving Island does a 36.4, immediately beaten by Seamus on a 34.9. Danzo slots in the middle. What about Big Z? He does a 36.5. Darkseid's right up to 2nd at the moment. Further back we've got 18.05 in the new BWT livery, and he's done a 41.4, so he must have made a mistake on that lap. Here comes Bertus. Goes 5th for now. Anyone else? Snav, obviously. This is what Snav and Timmy will be doing. They're just getting themselves into position where they can set a predetermined lap time. They'll obviously be going a bit slower compared to everyone else. Mark Parker, probably the last driver who will set a flying lap outside of Shadowstalker. D Whitehouse probably won't come out, I don't think, to set a lap. I don't think he'll need to because he's starting from the back of the field. But Seamus at the moment, after the opening runs, has got the provisional pole. He's got 5 minutes 33 to try and improve on that. And he's done a 34.9. That's competitive for Seamus. We saw that Timmy was doing 34.1s in practice, so a bit more time to find. There goes Mark. He's up to 8th now. And someone else now just coming round Juncow. Is that Roving Island potentially? Yes, it is coming round now. There's another driver in front of him. You can see there in the Joyce Design driver there, the number 48, just on his way round turn 14. That's the Whitehouse who's just pulled over to the side. So Dave has come out for our lap. Bertus telling Danzo it's reverse grid, so I think Danzo has indeed made a bit of a muckery of it. So Danzo will have to drop to the back or back out and come back into the lobby. That's going to be his best option at the moment. So 18.05 just goes a little bit quicker now. Roving Island did 2 on that lap, but no improvements from anyone else currently. Shadowstalker's gone quick. He's done a 37.9. 3 seconds off the pace of Seamus at the moment. We're just on the back of 18.05's car at the moment as we come towards Decido del Lago. Just chucks the car in through turn 4, right on the rev limiter. You could have heard there as he flew through. Oh, he's run very wide through turn number 6 and 7 there at 18.05, and he's gone deep into turn 8. Don't think he'll be improving on that lap, and he's got a 1 second penalty. Parker's moved up to 8th. It's a good effort from the man formerly known as Tinny Tortoise. His best ever qualifying is actually 7th, and he achieved that 2 weeks ago at Autopolis. Danzo's just realised that he's made a bit of an error. We'll quickly go into the chat and just let Danzo know that he can just drop to the back at the start. That's Roving Island. Darksykes now. Darksykes goes provisionally fastest. 55.8 right up there too. So the top 3 drivers are covered at the moment by 0.2 of a second. Bigsy goes quicker too. So the lap time's just starting to come now. Shadowstalker as well has just done a 36.3. That's more representative from Shadowstalker. It's definitely not 3 seconds slower than Darksykes, but Darksykes currently provisionally on pole at the moment. And this man will be open for a lot more luck, Darksykes. He's had 3 races so far in this series, and all 3 races he's had an incident at turn 1. He'll be hoping tonight at Interlagos he can just stay out of trouble, and at the moment, potentially, hold on for a race lead. But he's going to have a fight on his hand with Seamus. Definitely going to have a fight on his hands. And the 55.8, we've seen this pace before from the Garage Floor Tile Company driver. We have seen this earlier on in the season. He qualified 3rd at Autopolis and just went off the circuit earlier on in the race, and that ruined any chance of a good position. So he's got the speed, has the 55.8. He's got the speed, and I've got the voice break by the seams of it then from that sentence. Danzo in the pits. I think he's had enough. 18.05. 9/10 off the pace at the moment. Right with Mark Parker, who is improving every week as the CRT driver. Really starting to get himself amongst the midfield. Bertus did have a purple sector there. He just saw it flash up, but he's picked up a penalty. I'm assuming he's picked it up through turn 6 through Ferradura. Just comes now round towards the second timing point, and he's... Well, it said he was 1 minute 47 down, but he's definitely not 1:47, and sure enough, he's going to back out of it. Probably would have backed out of it earlier, to be honest. It's going to sap his momentum going on to his final lap, so Bertus is going to have to hopefully hook up the first part of the lap, because he's a driver you would expect to be near the front of the field, especially as in 4th in the championship at the moment, or rather 5th in the championship at the moment. How about Seamus? Can he get another 10th and a half on Darksykes? He's right behind him. Darksykes probably in the best position in qualifying at the moment, because not only is he in first, but on circuit he can see the Adrian Flux driver in front of him. He's got a target ahead of him he can aim for to try and catch up to. And it's just a little bit of momentum mentally. Oh, Seamus has made a little mistake. He's off the circuit. He's got to make sure he gets back on, doesn't impede the 55.8, which I don't think he will. It's awkward positioning, but he's carried on. Seamus should get one more lap, as will Darksykes, and I think the 55.8 will make it. It's going to be very close, though, between these three drivers. I think Darksykes should clear that, no problem at all. Oh, you can see the timer coming down on the right-hand side. Is he going to make it in time? Yes, he does. The 55.8, he does indeed. So they both get they get one final lap. Who sees the checkered flag first, then? I think we're coming through now. Just have a quick scroll through. Couldn't quite see. The checkered flag's not gone out for a driver who's just gone across. But 18.05 now sees the checkered flag, and that's up to third. That's more like it from 18.05. But Darksykes has found 6/10 on that lap. That's an incredible lap time from Darksykes. What can Seamus do then? He's got a lot to prove now. He's all over the curb going through turn 4. Didn't see his timing beam, and sure enough, he's tripped the penalty indicator. He's run too wide at the Interlagos. Bertus has improved, but he's way down the field, and sure enough, Seamus has given up. That's his lap done. Bertus only 9th. That's a surprise from the Dutch driver. He's 1.7 off the pace. You'd have expected more. 18.05 seen a checkered flag. The 55.8 hasn't. What can he do? What can he do now as he comes towards Juncao, as he goes round Mugello for the final time in this qualifying session? 7/10. I don't think he's going to make 7/10 up in the straight. Anyone else on a lap? Parker's on a lap. Roving Island see the checkered flag as Bigsy. I don't think that the 55.8 is going to improve on this lap time unless he gets an incredible run out of Juncao. You can see the timer ticking over. It's not going to be enough to improve, and sure enough, it doesn't. The only other driver then who can improve is Mark Parker, and in fact, looking at his final split time, he's definitely not going to do it. So, for the first time this season, Darksykes gets it on pole position. Great effort from him. He's 6/10 clear, is the Mark Sykes design driver. You know, this is the best grid position he's had in the Meganes as Darksykes. He's going to be joined by Seamus on the front row, so it's certainly not going to be an easy race. The 18.05 and the 55.8 will be making the second row of the grid. So qualifying is over. And what a grid we've got in store for this race here in Brazil. You can see the white, red and yellow Mark Sykes design driver on the left hand side, that's Darksykes, and the blue and white Adrian Flux driver of Seamus. Danzo will drop to the back in that 10 Tools car, so keep an eye out for potential mayhem at the start. But there's 20 minutes on the right hand side. Here come the numbers. And the race is live here at Interlagos. It's a decent start from Darksykes. 18.05 got a good initial launch. 2 as they approach turn number 1 in Senna S. Seamus is having to defend from 18.05. It's cut right to the back. Seamus trying to push through. Darksykes has had to cut the chicane, and 18.05's got up to second. All sideways through turn 1, and sure enough, Seamus is back through. 18.05's trying to get back in. He's not going to fit there. He's been bumbled all the way down to 4th. He's been nudged by Big Z. He's in 5th at the moment. As they approach the Interlagos, Darksykes is in the lead, but he's being challenged into turn number 4. He's gone way wide. He's all over the AstroTurf. He's not going to get back in, and he's dropped to 5th. The pole position man's down to 5th place. So Seamus has got the lead. The 55.8 is in 2nd. Snav's all the way down at the back. Something's happened to him. There was a bit of a contact there going through turn number 6. Bigsy's up into 4th. Timmy, what a start. He's up to 5th. He needed that. Darksykes is down to 6th now. D Whitehouse is up to 7th. So he's just shadowing Timmy, but he's got a car between him at the moment. As I say that, he's got 2 now because the brothers are separating Timmy and D Whitehouse. All big slide into turn number 11 there for 1805 and that newly decked out sponsorship. But Seamus has got the lead as he approached Junkow for the first time of 18 minutes to go. 55.8's gone very, very deep through Junkow. He's a little bit sideways. That's going to give momentum towards 1805. He's got to be careful because he's got Timmy trying to go around the outside. Probably not going to work. It's a completely flat corner. He might have to try and slot back in, which he does very quickly. Back out to back in because there's all chaos going on at the back. Here comes Timmy now, looking to go towards the inside as they approach the Senna S. Can he make the move stick on the brakes as he goes through to the corner? 1805 goes really, really wide, and that's going to cost him a few places. Also, someone else has gone flying off circuit there, I think. Oh, that's Shadow Stalker who's gone round in the background. He's collided with someone. I think it's... Is it Roving Island? I think it is. I think Roving Island's gone off with him, and sure enough he has. Oh, that's a shame. Second time round for Roving Island in that race, and he must have just had a bit of contact between himself and Shadow Stalker. But back at the front, what a start Timmy has had. This has been incredible. And he's looking now to try and go for a move up the inside of 55.8. We'll cut on board to him. We'll go on the roof cam with him. Seamus needs to make as much of an opportunity as he can. It's a great late lunge as he goes into turn 8. What a move by Timmy. And he's got past the 55.8, as has Bigsy, who's up to 3rd. When you're going for a championship, you need to make moves and lunges like that. And Timmy made it absolutely stick. What a fantastic move from the works driver. The momentum is with him at the moment, but he's got a bit of work to do to try and catch Seamus, who didn't get as much of a chance to get away as he would have liked. But from 12th on the grid up to 2nd place, 10 places gained. Bigsy's up to 3rd. He's had a good opening lap. 55.8's up to 4th, or rather down to 4th. 1805 is in 5th, but he's got a huge train of cars, including Bertis, D Whitehouse and Danzo. Championship leader sandwiched between a main rivalry there of Danzo and Bertis at the moment. He's got a 2-second penalty as well as D Whitehouse, so he's going to have to try and shift it somewhere. Oh, Bertis had a huge off at turn 1. He's round. I think he went wide onto the grass as he braked, and off it went. The Megane did not like the grass, and sure enough, Bertis has just opened the door for D Whitehouse to go up to 6th place. Oh, it looked such a small error has cost him big style for Bertis. He's really not going to be pleased with that. Snav's in 10th, Parker's in 9th. Darksykes, after starting on poles, down to 8th. Not certain what happened to Darksykes. He had a moment going into turn 1 on the 2nd lap, and then went wide again at turn 4, so really not ideal for Darksykes. He's had a torrid opening lap again. This group now all stuck together, the 55.8 trying to fend off 1805 and D Whitehouse. He's trying to look for a move up the inside. He's managed to clear a bit of his penalty, not all of it yet. Going to try and go around the outside at turn 11. You see 1805 just clambering the curbs. He got a little bit sideways. You can see the little thank you NHS on the underside of his rear wing there. Really nice message to send out. D Whitehouse just missed the apex a little bit, as did the 55.8, so that's going to present the opportunity for 1805. He's going to have to do it the long way round. Looks to the outside, but turn 14's completely flat. Timmy as well is right onto the back of Seamus. We go with him because this is going to be a man on a charge, and Timmy straight up the inside. It's as easy as that. And 4 laps it's taken him to go from 12th to 1st. What a performance this is. Seamus, though, is certainly not the type of driver to give it up easily, and sure enough, he's fighting back as they go through turn 3. Seamus right under the rear wing of Timmy. He's going to move to the inside for Interlagos. Is he going to be close enough on the brakes? No, and Timmy broke so much later than Seamus there. That was fantastic, and he retained that lead. Bigsy's in 3rd. He's on his own for the time being because the 55.8's getting all sideways. That's a problem for the drivers behind, but D Whitehouse has managed to go right round the outside. Is the 1805 going to go through with him as well? Yes, he does. Absolutely. Danzo as well. He's lost. Oh, that's unfortunate for the 55.8. He's gone from 4th to 7th in the space of 1 corner. In fact, it's got worse than that because Darksyke's trying to now go around the outside of him through Pinarino. Not quite paid off, but from 4th to... As I say, I tell you what, he's got the momentum coming into turn 11. And he's through. Mark Sykes, design driver, actually then again, 55.8 is now fighting back with him. Great driving from the two. Absolutely clean and respectful, but 55.8 fends off Dark Sykes for the time being. Fantastic effort. He's still not giving up his Dark Sykes. He's now trying to look around the outside for turn 14. This is brilliant racing between the two. No contact, no nothing at all. With Dark Sykes, will ride on board of him as they approach the centre rest. You can see how close he is underneath the rear wing. 55.8 on the inside. He's going to try and brake later. It's Dark Sykes. He's on the grass and round he goes. And that is a case of space. And sure enough, Dark Sykes. Oh, and Burtis has done it again. Burtis has just gone off in the background. He's gone flying off the circuit, I think. No, it's not Burtis, actually. Who is that in the background? We'll never know because they've disappeared. Shadowstalker is now side by side with his long-time rival of Mark Parker. They're on the inside as we approach turn number 4. Certainly did see someone flying off the circuit in the background on that one, but Parker fends off his rival, but I think he runs a little bit wide. He does. He's got an opportunity, Shadowstalker. He's going to look to the outside and the inside for turn number 6. Great move. Really good move from Shadowstalker. He's up at the inside, but Mark Parker's looking for a gap up the inside again. This is not over. Is he there? Shadowstalker's gone too wide through the corner. That's going to present an opportunity for Parker to try and go around the outside of Pinarino. This is a brilliant move. What a move from Parker. He's gone round the outside of Pinarino and he's got the position back. That is fantastic. I've never seen a driver pull a move around the outside of Pinarino. Fantastic from the Sales Eye driver. That was brilliant. Really clean driving between the two. What a move. Shadowstalker's just gone deep. He's off at Junkow. That's going to give an opportunity and motivation for Roving Island to try and get right back up from the back of the pack. You got Danzo now trying to go around the outside. There's a bit of ghosting. 1805's gone wide, and sure enough, Danzo's lost the position. There's a flash of the lights from 1805 as he went through there. There was a bit of contact. No flash of the lights from Danzo currently. Timmy is off and up the road. You can see the gap compared to the drivers behind. He's got 2 seconds to Seamus. He's set a very quick lap. In fact, I think Seamus has had a bit of a problem on that last lap. He did a 36.3 compared to Timmy's 34.7, so 1.3 lost. Bigsy's in 3rd, but he's being caught by D Whitehouse now. Got 11 minutes to go as D Whitehouse, the championship leader at the moment. He's going to want to try and get on with this. He needs to get up to 3rd and then see if he can work on that gap for Seamus. Danzo's got back in front of 1805, and 1805 ghosts through turn 11. A little bit sideways as well was the BWT driver there. Snav's up to 7th. He's had a quiet one. Not sure what happened to him at the start. Power Products driver went off the circuit. He was gapped at the start. Not sure why that happened, but unfortunately he got caught up in a lap 1 incident. Big sideways through the final corner there, or rather Junkow. There's Dark Sykes. He's in 8th. Would have been hoping for better. He had a really good qualifying, but race has been inconsistent. He's had a few offs already, as has Burtis for that matter. He's gone off too. And Parker, ooh, that's a peculiar line, and sure enough, Shadowstalker's going to say thank you very much, and up the inside he goes. He's up into 10th. Parker 11th. What's happened to the 55.8 though? I think Parker's got a penalty he's just managed to clear as well there. So Roving Island up to 11th. But the 55.8 is coasting. He's coming into the pits. I don't think the mechanics are going to be able to service his car and make it any faster. But the 55.8, after qualifying 4th, is in the pits. That's a shame. Looks like a potential retirement, that one. So D Whitehouse is up to 3rd. We haven't seen it on circuit, but he's up to 3rd place now. So the championship leader is currently losing 7 points to, or rather 6 points to Timmy at the moment. That's a 2-point swing in Timmy's favour. So Timmy will be leading the championship if positions stay as they are. So D Whitehouse will certainly want to try and get onto the back of Seamus. And sure enough, that's game over for the 55.8. Not sure what's happened. Really sad to lose him. Bigsy's in 4th. Danzo and 1805 are stuck together at the moment. They're in 5th and 6th. Darksight's still in 8th. Suburtus is 9th. The ever-going battle between... Oh, Shadowstalker having a battle now with the tarmac itself. Having a huge slide. And Roving Island got an opportunity to get back inside the top 10. Don't forget, this is his 2nd ever race with Roving Island. He had an incident before. I suspect it was with Shadowstalker. Not sure what happened, but he flew off at turn 3. So his race has always been compromised since then as the Joyce Design drivers. So he's got to hope he can make a move potentially on Shadowstalker at some point. Just looking at the track map, Danzo and 1805 are still very close together. Shadowstalker's gone deep into turn 1. It's going to compromise him for turn 2. Roving Island, I thought, would have got a better run out of the centre S there, but he didn't. Don't think he's going to be quite close enough. Although I say that, Shadowstalker went all over the grass for some reason at that point. Interlagos a little bit later on the brakes as Roving Island. Shadowstalker gives him the room. With fair play from him, but he didn't need to. Nonetheless, Shadowstalker's still got this 10th place at the moment. The last spot inside the top 10, of course. Parker's now climbing onto the back of them. And you can see Roving Island's definitely quicker. You know, you can see those opening 2 laps on the split screen on the right hand side. Those split times, he's certainly quicker than Shadowstalker and Mark Parker in terms of fastest lap. You can see he's just looking for different lines. Here's Parker having a look now. So the 3 of them have closed up on one another. I think Suburtus and Darksight's are very close together on circuit. We'll cut forward. And you can see, yeah, they're very close. It's actually Snav who made a little mistake, must have done. And he's having to defend on the inside now. Power Products driver under pressure from Darksight's. Looking to try and get a bit more slipstream, which he does. He's going to brake later. 3rd time lucky for Darksight's. Hopefully if he can keep it on the circuit. He does. Brakes earlier. Can he switch the car back through the centre-esque quick enough? He's got the momentum. Looking to try and go for an outside line going towards Descida del Lago. Not close enough. He's going to get the slipstream. He goes to the outside line now. Has he got enough room to go round at turn 4? No. Brake quite early. Keeping it nice and clean. Danzo and 1805 have swapped positions again for the probably 60th time in this race at the moment. Absolutely brilliant driving between these two at the moment. Danzo just all over the back of the rear wing of 1805 at the moment. They're catching Bigsy as well. Quite a decent rate. 1.4 now the gap between Bigsy and 1805. So this could be another hot spot for activity in the last few laps. Danzo I thought was going to hit the back of 1805 then. Snav's got through ahead of Darksight's. I know that Darksight's was challenging, but that's a bit of a gap he's got now. Bertus is closing there. Oh, Shadowstalker, we cut to it the wrong time because he's gone off the circuit and he's gone from 10th to 12th in one corner. Must have got on the exit curb at Pinerino and that was all it took. 1805, has he got enough of a gap to Danzo? Yeah, he will have. What about D Whitehouse? Is he making any progress on Seamus? He is making progress on Seamus. He's got the gap to 1.9. Last lap he took half a second out and he's been consistently half a second quicker. If D Whitehouse can keep this up, there's definitely an opportunity for the championship leader to get up to 3rd, or rather to get up to 2nd. That would cut the gap down. He's just gone purple in the 1st sector as well, so D Whitehouse certainly not showing any late race fatigue. Danzo again later on the brakes, going through Descida del Lago. There's Darksight's. Bertus still closing, slowly but surely. Roving Island now up to 10th place. Parker will be hoping that he can keep on the back of him in terms of improving his pace. And you can see personal best from Parker that last lap. 2 tenths quicker again. You could see Shadowstalker having a look potentially for a move for 11th place. Is he going to be close enough at any point in this lap to potentially make a move? Went a little bit on the AstroTurf, did Shadowstalker. He's got to be careful on that one. He's gone on this Astro again and it's just thrown him wide as he goes through turn 6. So he's going to have to... Oh, he's gone deep a little bit into turn 8 as well. And that's just gapped a second. Snav still a second clear of Darksight's. Danzo now in 18.05 are back at it again. 4 minutes to go in the session. Still enough time for 2, maybe even a third lap for some drivers, depending on where they are on circuit. Here comes Danzo then, we'll cut on board with him. As they approach the centre rest for the 11th time, Danzo on the inside. Has he got the move sorted? It breaks a little bit later, and he's sure enough through, but he's run deep. That's an opportunity for 18.05, but Danzo just blocked the route through for 18.05, so Danzo up to 5th. The championship man in 3rd place, again, is extending his gap to the drivers around him. He's performing really consistently this season, is Danzo. Oh, 18.05, that's very, very late as he goes into Interlagos. Has he got the momentum coming out of the corner? He's got the inside line, but he will be on the outside for turn 6. Danzo on the inside at the moment. We won't cut into an onboard camera. Danzo the side-by-side, 18.05 trying to go around the outside. This is unbelievable. No contact at the moment. On the brakes to turn 7 and 8. Danzo keeps the move. Wow. That was brave. Oh, 18.05, a little bit sideways out of Pinanero there. Oof, 18.05, trying to do the impossible round. Turn 6 and 7. Fantastic effort. Snav's been rejoined by Dark Sykes. Roving Island's got away now, and Shadowstalker's up to 11th, so Parker's made a little bit of a mistake on that last lap. That's dropped him out of the way. D. Whitehouse is there though, and he's got the move up the inside already on the main straight. He must have had a little bit of an opportunity. He's took it. Now he's got to make sure he ensures he gets it on the brakes. He's braking down into 3rd gear. Has he got the move done? He has, but he runs a bit deep. Seamus is still there trying to look for a move. He will get the momentum coming out of turn 3. He's hugging the inside line. D. Whitehouse hasn't got enough of a gap to shut the door. So, bit of banging doors as they go down the straight. Seamus is on the inside. 2 minutes to go. These two have got 2 laps left. Seamus brakes a little bit later, and he gets the move done. He's back up into 2nd place. So this is important for the championship now. The Whitehouse has to take the advantage as he can get it. Seamus, though, we know how good he is. We know how good he is at defensive driving. We've seen it all through these last 2 seasons of the Renault Megane Trophy. But D. Whitehouse has got a little look up the inside for turn 8. Not quite. Not quite there. What about further back? Danzo is now latched himself onto Bigsy, so we've got a 3-car fight for 4th now. Dark Sykes is just not quite close enough yet. I think it's done everywhere else for the time being, but there's a 3-car fight for 4th and a 2-car fight for 2nd. What's happened to Seamus? Seamus is all the way down in 8th. What has happened to slow Seamus? He's just gifted a position. Several. He was in 2nd place. We saw him coming out of Pinarino, and he's gone. He must have lost it on the exit curve, but slow Seamus has dropped from 2nd to 8th after looking like it was on for a podium. And doesn't this put the heat on Bigsy now? Because Bigsy in 3rd place, looking at the first ever podium. But Danzo, this is the biggest opportunity Danzo has had in 19 races, and you can tell he senses that. He's looking for a move. He's got the opportunity now. He's going to go around the outside potentially. Looks to cut back on Bigsy, but he shuts the door, does Bigsy. Got to be careful, these two, because 18.05 is right behind. Danzo on the outside as they approach the Interlagos. We'll go with 18.05. He's on the best position. Danzo brakes later. He's going to try and go around the outside. No contact between the two. He's gone too far deep, and Danzo drops to 5th. Now, 18.05. This is his opportunity to try and get a podium. He hasn't had a podium for a while as 18.05. It's been some time, way back at Brands Hatch Indy when he last got one. Danzo had to take that opportunity. He wants that first ever podium. He's not had one yet. 18.05 looking for the remove. Goes all over the curve. That's a little bit wide. Danzo's gone even wider than that. I think Danzo might just have missed out. We are on the final lap. I'm going to just quickly jump over to Timmy, because what a fantastic race he's had. You know, from 1st place, he started in 12th. He got up to 2nd in 1 lap. What a performance. Timmy DJG 94 takes the race win at Interlagos. Brilliant drive. D. Whitehouse, good recovery, gets himself 2nd. That's going to set up the title fight. Bigsy is going to hold on for his first podium here in the Megane Trophy Series. What a result for the Circotec driver. 18.05 is 4th. Danzo just unfortunately getting that 5th place. Snav takes 6th. Dark takes 7th. We're not certain what happens to Seamus, but he's way down in 8th place after being in 2nd just 2 laps ago. Bertus, an off-key night for the Fuchs driver. He's slowing right down. I think he's a little bit disappointed with that one in 9th. Roving Island is in 10th. Good fight back for him, despite being compromised at the start. Some good consistent lap times. Shadow Stalker's 11th and Parker takes 12th place. Wow, it all kicked off towards the end. Lots of fights all the way through the field, but this man stood head and shoulders effectively above the rest in the opener laps. Timmy DJG, 94, takes that race win. Brilliant performance. But D Whitehouse did what he needed to do. He got himself up to 3rd. With 2 laps to go, he was fighting with Seamus on the second to last lap, and then we didn't see it, but Seamus went off the circuit right down to 8th. The championship gap, as it stands in the title fight between Timmy DJG 94 and D Whitehouse, is 1 point. 1 point going into the final round. D Whitehouse is the championship leader at the moment, but Timmy, the momentum has been with him for the last few rounds. D Whitehouse is going to have a battle on his hands, as is Timmy, because it's going to be fantastic to watch the two of them fight. We've seen it earlier in the season, so that is going to be a really good point. Seamus just saying he's a bit of an idiot. He must have made a mistake. It's really unfortunate for Seamus. He was on for another podium again. It's just going to affect him in the championship standings for Seamus. That's certainly going to not help his chances, because he would have moved potentially into the top 5 there in the championship. 3rd for Bigsy though. Absolutely brilliant for the Zerkotec man. He's going to be really chuffed with that. You know, managed to get away with it. You know, kept himself out of trouble in the opening stages, and that's what happens. You just wait for the race to come to you. And 3rd place he got. Timmy just saying in the comments there, needed that fastest lap. It was very close. D Whitehouse did briefly have fastest lap. So a neck and neck in this championship fight now. 4th went the way of 18.05. He must be pleased with that, considering that it's been a rough ride for 18.05 last few rounds. He missed Autopolis. He wasn't here for Red Bull Ring. But before that, the 2 races he'd done at Kyoto and Suzuka, he'd only finished 10th. Certainly more capable of better positions than that. So good result for him. And Danzo ever so close to that first podium again, but he just missed out on that opportunity for 3rd. But he'll have more of them for certain, potentially next week. So 1 more round to go in the season. 1 more round. What a finale we're going to have. And it's going to be at Lago Maggiore. It's a track that threw up a whole world of chaos last season. It was a reverse grid back then. D Whitehouse fought himself from the back to finish 4th on that day. Timmy wasn't racing with us at the time, so we're not sure how Timmy's going to get on around Maggiore, but this is going to be one heck of a championship scrap. Really looking forward to seeing the drivers go around for this finale. As per with NXTGEN, of course, you can always follow us on social media channels. We've got Facebook, we have Instagram, Twitter, and we have Discord as well. We also are operating on other services too, which you can have a look out for if you go onto our website as well. Thanks 1805 for that comment just there. But next Thursday, 8 o'clock British Standard Time, that is the finale of Lobby 2, and what a championship fight we're going to have on our hands. I've been your commentator for tonight, Jack TM53, and wherever you might be watching in the big wide world, have a good one.